Lewis, thank you for joining us. Our first week here at Southwater with Walsall ahead at the weekend. How's the preparation been?
Yeah, it's been fantastic. Listen, not to say anything against Horsham, as I said before, they were fantastic and really accommodating, and we obviously still miss Annie in the morning. But listen, the people down at Southwater have been brilliant. The food has been unbelievable. Not to say it's any better than Rona's, but it's been fantastic. The boys have really taken to just being out on the grass. I think you see on the first day, I think a few of them were on the floor even cuddling it. But hopefully, fingers crossed, we get a positive result at the weekend, and all this has been worth it.
Yeah, obviously, as you said, the mood on Monday was absolutely fantastic. Obviously, was helped by that win against Barrow, of course, but it must just really please you to see the lads, buzzing throughout the week, and it just gives you all that confidence heading into the weekend, doesn't it? Yeah,
definitely. I think during my tenure, I've thanked a lot of my backroom staff and things like that, but I think the office staff and the ground staff have got to get massive plaudits for finding this place and getting us here and making it able for Ben to turn this around in 3 weeks. It's been unbelievable. I think you can see it in just hopefully in the mood of the players when you see them walking out to training and just their general atmosphere. They are an upbeat group anyway, but listen, being here and whatnot, it's been fantastic, and I've got to definitely show my appreciation to, well, yourself included, for being able to get us to here.
Yeah, and obviously just touching on that, I was going to bring that up. Ben, Evan and Eddie are complete turf care. Everyone has done such a great job. Last night we had half a month's worth of rain, and this place it's a little bit like a sieve, isn't it? It's just absorbed it all up, and it's just so good and it shows the progression of the club, doesn't it, that we're able to move forward and have these fantastic facilities. Yeah,
definitely. If you saw sort of the work that we did on Tuesday on here, and then to come down this morning, I think I got here at 7 or half 6 this morning just to make sure that the pitch was going to be okay, and I was so surprised coming from where I was travelling from. It was such bad weather. By the time I got here, it was like the pitch was clear and everything. I was really shocked, but that's just the quality of the work that like you say, turf care have put into it. Listen, long may that continue for us, and fingers crossed we can make it successful on the pitch as well as on the training ground.
Yeah, obviously a lot to focus on here, in and around the club, but then we've also got to focus on that match against Walsall at the weekend, and it's just a chance to extend our unbeaten league run, isn't it? Yeah,
definitely. I think, listen, we've also got to understand that Michael Flynn's done a fantastic job there, especially over the last month. I think he pipped a few of us to the Manager of the Month award, which is all plaudits to him and his staff and their team. We know what we're coming up against. Obviously, we had Hutch last season, who done really, really well for us, and we know sort of some of the dangers that he can possess. But again, they've got match winners all across the pitch. That's really, really strong defensively. I think in the last 5 games they've not conceded many chances at all. But look, with a little bit of a feather in our cap, you've got to look at sort of the strikers that we've got and the performances they've been putting in and the chances that they create. But then also I think Saturday showed the solidarity of the actual group as a unit, and how well they are performing.
Just to briefly touch on it, obviously at the Senior Cup on Tuesday night you were there, Tony Craig leading the team, and it was just, I suppose, another chance for you to see some of the lads who haven't been able to get regular minutes in the league.
Yeah, definitely. Come away from it with a bit of a sour taste in my mouth in terms of 6 of the boys had played not the previous game but the preceding game before that against Burnley, and then started that game. I think it's just a bit down to attitude sometimes, and I told them that after the game. Sometimes it's not nice to hear, but it's the reality. But listen, it's not to say that I'm going to write players off just because of one bad result. Like I said to them, if they had looked after the performance a bit better, then it'd been a bit different. But listen, plaudits to Hastings and their staff. They're doing a really good job down there, and on the day they did a bit of a job on us and sat in and made it really difficult for us to really get on the ascendancy. But like I say, the boys have come back in today with a bit of a spring in their step and trained well, and obviously they're going to continue to put pressure on those who have got the shirt at the moment. But like I say, I'm not adverse to keep changing it and making changes.
Thank you, Lewis.
Hi Lewis, you got that first clean sheet last weekend. What parts of that game do you want to take into this weekend against Walsall?
Another clean sheet, ideally. But listen, we know that every game's different. We're understanding that we're coming up against a really good opposition, one of the form teams in the league at the moment, as ourselves are. So I think it should stand for a really high quality game. But like I say, at the moment with the team, you look and you go, we've got some really good bones of a really good squad pulling together in the right direction and putting in some fantastic results. But there's still parts of our game that have got to be improved upon, and that's why every day we strive to improve on that, and we speak about it.
It seemed that when you first took charge, the attack progressed really quickly, goals started flying in, and then in terms of the results, perhaps the defence was a little bit slower. When you first took charge, was it a real priority to just get the team scoring goals and then everything would take care of itself?
No, I wouldn't say so. I think as a team we score and as a team we defend, so it's not saying that we just completely ignore one side of the game. Listen, I was a defender, so ultimately defence is always that comes to mind. The boys going forward, that's just their natural ability and their natural talent. Don't get me wrong, we do work on both sides of it. Don't get me, and I have been really disappointed with aspects of the game, but ultimately it's about results, and we've been able to pick up some fantastic results against some fantastic teams in the league. I think we've got 7 points from top 6 teams, so we're obviously doing something well. But we also have to understand that other teams are not just going to come and sit back and not have opportunities. But obviously Saturday we were able to restrict them to fewer than we have done in previous games. But again, we know that opposition, just like ourselves, are going to be good going forward, and we've got to be on our mark to make sure that we can try and keep the back door closed.
And you've been in charge just over a month now. What's been the hardest part about transitioning from the backrooms or the staff to the first team manager?
I wouldn't say it's been hard. I think I've had some really good people around me that have helped me along the way, not just inside the club but outside the club as well, who have stepped up and been really brilliant. Listen, I've obviously got to say really big thanks to my wife and kids, because they don't see me very often, or if they do, they're sat there watching League 2 games with me. But I think that they understand it, because ultimately I want to be successful in this new role that I've got. For the foreseeable, not just in the short term. I want to make my coaching career as good as hopefully, or better than my playing career. So I've got to thank those around me. But listen, it's stressful. But at the moment, picking up results, it feels justification for that hard work. The really early mornings and the late nights. I think I'm doing 20-hour days at the minute. But if we keep winning, then hopefully in next summer it'll be worth it, when I can maybe have a proper night's sleep.
Obviously you've been working hard, and although it seems like I ask you this all the time, is there an element of frustration that the permanent decision hasn't been made yet on the first team manager?
Not on my behalf. All I can do is just come in and work, no matter what. Even if you're in charge of a football club, you're only one game away from what you don't know. So listen, all I can do is just keep taking one game at a time, and all my focus is just making sure that the team is prepared and ready to go against Walsall at the weekend. The powers that be above will obviously make their decision when they're ready. And listen, I can't influence that. I would never try to influence that. And like I've said numerous times, if it's going to be me, brilliant, fantastic, and I'm really excited and really excited to cut my teeth and continue to succeed, hopefully. But if it's going to be someone else, then I hope the club carry on being successful and improve upon what we're doing.
And just finally, unfortunately, you got that loss on Tuesday night. You're out of that cup competition now. But are you kind of glad that now you can fully focus on the league, or are you disappointed not to be in the competition?
Definitely disappointed. I think as a club we want to try and win as many games as we can, regardless what the competition is. I think I said the same thing after the FA Cup. I don't use that game, take it lightly. It's a fantastic competition. It's something that has great history, and listen, the Sussex Senior Cup was a day away for us to keep getting minutes into certain players and keep them fit and healthy and ready to put pressure on the team or the players that have the shirt at that day. So I'm really disappointed that we have come out of that, but ultimately I'm just disappointed with the performance. But listen, we have to move on, because football moves, and we're on a new day today, 2 days later, and we've come in with a big, good bounce to us, a good sort of skip, and the boys seem really good and happy. So fingers crossed we can go and get a really positive result of the weekend.
Thank you, Liz.
Thank you.
Ellery, thank you for joining us. Our first full week here at Southwater. How's the preparation been for our game against Walsall?
Yeah, it's been good. It's nice to get out on a grass pitch, and we play on grass every week, so it's good to get that in our training. And boys have been good, happy with the pitches, and looking forward to Saturday.
How's it been for you since you've returned back to the club? Obviously, really unlucky to get that injury within the first 45 minutes of our opening day of the season. But you've come back, you've made your way back into the team. You know, some good competition with the likes of Robbo and Crawley. You know, how have you found it? And you know, obviously, since you come back, Youngie's taken charge. How has it been?
Yeah, I've really enjoyed it. Working under Youngie, you know, the boys are all around him, all supporting him, and we're really enjoying it. So, obviously, 5 unbeaten now, I think, and. Yeah, it's been good to be back in the team, playing, doing well. So yeah.
I suppose it's nice for you as well. Obviously, going back to Brentford. Obviously, you've got these amazing facilities. I'm sure there's plenty of grass pitches there. When you first joined us, you're obviously on 4G. As a goalkeeper, I can imagine that's great. Obviously, not having to dive around on the hard stuff.
Yeah, definitely. I don't mind 4G. To be fair, probably prefer it a bit to grass because obviously we're diving all over the place all the time and it's softer on the body. But no, I don't mind it. This pitch is fine, so it's good.
Yeah, as you mentioned there, 5 unbeaten in the league. The league form, you know, under Youngie has been brilliant. Have you noticed any like specific change? You know, is it the morale? Is it the work ethic? You know, sort of from when you first came in and when you came back. Have you noticed anything different?
Yeah, a few things. I mean, the training standards like completely lifted. I think everyone just wants to work harder for Youngie, and. Boys are happy with him as a manager, so yeah.
You know, obviously, Walsall, it's going to be a tough test, isn't it? But you know, I suppose if we can take, you know, the things we've worked on in the last 5 league games, there's no reason we can't beat anyone in this league. And we finally got that Youngie touching it, that clean sheet at the weekend. So there's plenty of positives to take into it, isn't there?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, whoever we come up against, we're going to plan our game plan, and yeah, hopefully we get the win.
Thank you, Ellery.
Hi, Ellery. You've recently come back from a long-term injury. Yeah. What was that like? Your recovery, what was that like? Sorry.
Yeah, it was alright. It was tough. Luckily, I didn't have to have surgery, so didn't have to. That would have been a longer period of time if I had to do that. So I got away with not having the surgery. But yeah, it was tough. Just in the gym every day. But yeah, it's good to be back.
What is specifically the hardest part about being injured? Is it being away from the match action, or?
Yeah, it's probably even training, like just seeing everyone go out every day and you're just in the gym. It's tough, but you just need to stay strong and yeah.
Is there anything you use to keep your mind off the negatives?
I just focus on trying to get back here, help the team, and yeah.
And Dave Robertson and Corey Adai, they put in some great performances whilst you were out. What's your relationship like with the other goalkeepers here at Crawley? Yeah,
really good. We all push each other, so it's only better for us having that competition. Having 2 other good goalkeepers just helps me.
And obviously Young got that first clean sheet last weekend. What was it like being able to be a part of that?
Yeah, it was good. It was a bit of a release. We've been looking for that for quite a long time, so it was good.
What was it specifically about how you played in that game that earned that clean sheet in the end, apart from the obvious fact?
It was just a massive defensive display from the back 4, from even the midfield. Like everyone was solid, no chances were given away, and it was good.
And in a defence, you know, your back line, what are the ideal qualities that you look for in a strong defence?
Needs to be aggressive, be able to play. Obviously, get me out of tight positions when I've got the ball. So I need you to show for the ball. But yeah, aggression really.
Lewis Young's been interim manager for quite a long time now. What's the feeling like in the dressing room under him?
Yeah, really good. The boys are loving having him. It's a nice change, it's refreshing, you know. Youngie's so good with all the boys. Everyone loves him. So yeah, it's good.
Is there a small bit or an element of frustration that he hasn't been given the permanent job yet?
Yeah, I think definitely he deserves it.
Why do you think he is specifically the right man for the job, Young?
Just the way the boys perform for him. Like every day, we want to come out and impress him. And obviously, him being a part of the team already, like everyone just knows him, and it's good to work hard for him and perform for him.
Thank you.